Hey everyone, it's Adrian from Genie Magazine here, and I'm here with Peta Howlett. Peter, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Nice to hear. Now, Peter, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself to start?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Peter. I'm the founder and owner of Studio Exclusive Pole Dancing Studios.
I think that's probably where we'll start is how did you get into pole dancing? Because it's not something, as I understand, that you've been doing since you were a little kid, and it's natural that you opened a studio. There seems to have been a bit of a backstory to that. So why don't you tell us something about that?
Yes, absolutely. So I do what I do. Pole dancing literally changed my life. I started pole around 8 or 9 years ago, or might even be getting closer to 10 now. Back then I was in a bad relationship, and I'd been in that relationship for 14 and a half years, so it's a long time. So through pole, I started to rediscover myself and to reconnect to who I was, and also to reconnect to others as well. So that's why I personally do what I do. That's also what the studio is about as well. So we're not about training people to compete at a national level. We're all about empowering women, inspiring women, helping women feel good, building that community, building their confidence, and also showing them a fun workout.
We will go into that in some detail because I've got your website here, and I know you've got a manifesto, and you've got sort of the 3 key areas. Just with pole dancing, though, I mean, to be honest, when I told some people that I really wanted to interview you not as a pole dancer, but that word came up. Some people, and I have to say, some women as well, had a not totally positive reaction to it. You say the word pole, or the words pole dancing, and some people get a certain image in their head.
Yep.
So what was it about, I guess, what was it about pole dancing that changed your life, and how do you react when people have that sort of reaction to it?
To be honest, I don't really get that. I know other people do, but I guess if people meet me, they can pretty easily, pick up who I am, what I'm about. Sometimes people ask, well, how did you get started? And they're looking for something juicy. But the story's not really that juicy.
What I've got, I have some of your student testimonials here, and this is how I knew I really wanted to interview you, because not only the number of testimonials that you have, but what they've said, and it's not so much I've gotten healthier and fitter. They've said that as well. But for example, the studio has changed my life. It's shown me how to be confident in my own skin. And there's a lot about being confident or finding confidence in oneself, finding happiness. And it's women of all ages, you've got 20, 19, 54, sales managers, student. What is it about pole dancing, or at least the way that you guys do it, that gets testimonials like that?
Yeah, so I think it's our style. I think it's the way it's the way that we teach, it's the way that we encourage, it's the way that we bring positivity, it's the way that we welcome, all ages, all sizes, grandmothers, all fitness levels. So it's about, building that community for women, and it's about teaching women to love who they are, to accept who they are, to embrace who they are, and to celebrate who they are.
And how do you do that? I want to really push on that, because I know a lot of people, not just for women, but for men, but we're concentrating on women mainly, feeling confident in your own skin is really important. And a lot of people have little, platitudes of how to do that. But how does pole dancing help someone do that?
Yeah, good question. So it's the environment. It's really the environment that we create in the studio, both studios. And that's what builds someone's confidence, what nurtures them, what, brings them out of their shell,
Sure.
what builds their chips. So it's really the environment that we create that facilitates and enables that.
So it's not just the sport of pole dancing, it's also the way that you approach it as a studio.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be any sport at all, really. It just happens to be dancing. So we're really focused on, really empowering women, building women's confidence, helping women feel good, and we just happen to do that through pole dancing. So, there's so many different ways that you could do that. We just happen to do it through pole. So really the other stuff is our most important.
Let's say, for example, someone's interested in starting off in pole dancing. Can you give us an idea maybe where they start, what a typical lesson is like? Because a lot of the testimonials said, I feel, so confident, but a lot of them also say, I was so nervous to begin with. And I can imagine, especially if people are getting a bit of judgment about it, if you say, oh, I'm going to start pole dancing, people go, oh, really?
Yeah.
Where do you start, and what's a typical lesson like?
Yeah. Look, when people start, it's funny because as we see people walk in the studio for the very first time, they are so nervous. You can just tell straight away that the person's here for the first class because you can just tell they're nervous, they're excited, they're a bit hesitant, they're not sure what they're going to be doing.
Yep.
So people would start either with regular classes or sometimes people will start with private lessons and we'll ease them in that way. So in a first class, we would generally do some icebreakers and get everyone interacting because everyone's just as nervous as one another and they don't know what on earth they're going to be doing. So we get everyone interacting and we've got some games and some doubles moves and some other things that we incorporate into class so that we really get them push through that nervousness and get them building friendships right from the beginning, having a good laugh as they go for their first spin, and then then week by week they get stronger, they get more confident, they build more friendships, they really become part of a community from there.
So the community aspect, you've mentioned it more than once, that's obviously a huge part of what you do and what's really important to the way you teach as well. Yeah,
it is actually. So when I told you that story before about when I was in that bad relationship, I sort of, when I got out of that relationship, I thought, well, what do I want to do with my life? The sky's the limit, I can do anything. And I knew that I loved the sport of pole, but more importantly, I loved what it did for women. And I love that sense of community. That was what helped me get through, it was the people around me that helped me get through that period in my time. So I actually wrote down some goals on a Post-it note, stuck it on the back of the door, and I was determined that that's what I was going to create for others. So I'd been through that. I'd been supported and helped and nurtured and built back up to who I then was. And I knew in life and for all of us, especially women, we all go through hard times. That's what I went through, but other people will go through, bad relationships or family issues or whatever. Everyone goes through their own struggles. So it was about building that community and building that support, because I know that when you're at that place, it's really the people around you that can either build you up, or if they're not there, it just makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you have two studios, is that correct? I know the original one was in Chatswood. You also have one in Drummoyne now as well?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Right, so that must keep you fairly busy, I'm imagining.
It does.
Because you also do some things on the side as well. I was just looking through here, and at the bottom, amongst other things, it mentions that you're doing some, is it judging, and you're a qualified personal trainer, and you're a health and fitness expert for CEO magazine. So how much spare time do you get? Or how much time do you have? Because I also saw one of your blog posts about the importance of play. I mean, when you're that busy, how much time do you get to actually just cut loose and play for yourself?
Yeah, it is a constant battle and constant struggle. I find when you do what you love, it's really hard to draw that boundary, because you love what you do. So it's hard to, there's been times, and I've laughed about this, that I've gone, okay, I need to take some downtime. Okay, I'll do this. Oh no, that's work related. Oh, I'll do this. No, that's training related. No, I'll do this, because they're the things that I love. So, it's just, over the years, I've just learnt to really just monitor my energy levels, because I want to make sure I'm giving the best of myself to my students and the people that I do private lessons with and that sort of thing. So I've just monitored that, and if I feel like I'm starting to, fatigue and not be the best version of myself, then I kind of ease back a little, get a little bit more rest, and then go again.
That sounds sensible. But I mean, as you said, when you're doing something that you love, the line between work and play, it's pretty blurred, isn't it?
It really is, yeah, exactly.
Can we just talk a little bit about that sort of loving what you do? Because everyone I've interviewed, one of the reasons I've interviewed them is because they're super passionate about something. If someone doesn't know what they're passionate about, and, I think it's important that everyone finds something that really turns them on. What advice would you give to someone who maybe goes, I don't have anything that I'm passionate about? Is there any advice you can give them where they should start?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, everyone's passionate about something. There's something they love. You can tell, you have a conversation with people, and I love this with my students. I love finding out what they're passionate about, what their goals are, because you see them light up. Yeah. And even even if they don't, I think it's about being creative, about seeing opportunities. If there's something that they love, they can find a way to mold a career, mold a business, or mold something around that.
Yeah.
So that they are involved in, what they love and what makes them happy. I learned a long time ago that, life is short, and I was in a job that I didn't enjoy, and I had too much energy, and I hated being constrained and sitting still. So I just thought, it doesn't matter. For me, it's not about money. It's about doing what you love every single day, because life is short. Each day it's ticking away. So you've got to be doing what you love, and you've got to, sometimes it just takes a bit of time to get creative and to explore options. But there'll definitely be something out there.
I mean, you've taken something that you're passionate about, you mentioned this, and turned it into a business, a successful business. I'm assuming that wasn't an easy, straightforward path. Can you talk us through maybe some of the challenges? I mean, because a lot of people do want to turn something they're passionate about into some sort of business, even though it's not about money. I mean, it needs to earn themselves a living. Can you tell us about, what it's like, the challenges you faced, and how you've overcome them?
Yeah, look, there's been plenty of challenges along the way. A lot of people don't know this story, but I wrote down some goals. I decided, all right, I want to open a studio. This is what it's going to be about. And I thought, okay, how am I going to get there? All right, I will create a mobile pole dancing studio. So I bought 2 poles. So each pole weighed 90 kilos. And I knew that. 90 kilos.
Okay.
Well, I knew that, and I remember talking to the supplier at the time. They said, they're heavy, and I said, yeah, I know. I thought, where there's a will, there's a way. If I want to make this happen, I'll make it happen. So I thought, no one in Sydney is doing this. I can drive around, take my pole in, set it up, do a lesson, pull it down, and this will be a way to sort of, a stepping stone to studio. So I thought, yep, this is perfect. I got the plan all set. So I ordered the poles, and I watched my now husband carry them up the stairs, and I just watched the strain in his face and the veins on his neck, and I just had a moment of, oh boy, okay, I think I need to rethink this.
Maybe.
And so I remember at that point going, oh bugger, okay, my plan is not going to, it's not how I wanted it. Anyway, so then I just had to explore. There's so many hurdles that come up along the way, and I think the difference is whether you push past. And my friends have said to me, Peter, you're like a dog with a bone. You just won't give up. Like for days and days, I just think, how can you make this work? How can you get around it? Who get over it? Who can you talk to? What can you learn? There's always a way. Yeah. It just depends on whether you're going to give up or you're going to keep going. So then from there, I ended up hiring a space in the community centre, and I had 10 poles, and I would rent the space for 3 hours, put the poles up in an hour, do the class, pull the poles down. And my physical limit, so I was running backwards and forwards to set the poles up. Yes, 6 in 1 hour. And if the students turned up, 20 minutes early, I lost part of my time.
Yeah.
So that was pretty full on. And then from there, and I remember at that point going, I think it was the second week, thinking, oh my God, have I bitten off more than I can chew? And so then after that, I think it was the second week, I thought, okay, I've got to find a space, found a space, and so I think we ran classes there for 2 weeks, so it would have been the third week we were into the first studio. So, and it's funny because I look back now and I think, wow, that's pretty ballsy to do that.
Yeah.
But I guess, if there's something that you believe in, you just got to find a way, and I guarantee 100% there will always be a way. You just got to get creative. You've got to brainstorm. You've got to talk to people. There will always be a way.
Absolutely. I guess it's also important that you're really clear that you really do love something, because if you don't love it, I'm guessing it's a lot easier to give up, right? When you don't really love something.
Absolutely.
I'm still getting over those 90 kilos. I mean, I've met some strong women, but I don't think I would want to lift a 90. I didn't know they weigh so much.
Well, it's the base. I think the base was 40 or 50 kilos, and then the rest was the pole. So the main part was 40 or 50, but the whole pole overall, you put it all together, is 90. So
I think you might have married a good husband then, if he was willing to carry your 90-kilo poles around.
I know. And I look back at when I spoke to the supplier, and he he knew what my plan was, and he said, like, it's going to be hard. And I said, yeah, I know, but, if there's a will, there's a way. I'll find a way to make this work.
Well, you did find a way, right, eventually?
Yes, eventually.
Let's talk just on the subject of 90 kilos. I know some people are going to want to know specifically the physical benefits. I mean, the community is great, and obviously feeling confident is great and very important. But the physical benefits, what sort of physical benefits do people find after they've done, some amount of pole dancing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess the changes that you experience, you definitely get stronger in the core and the upper body. With pole dancing, it doesn't bulk you, so you just become toned and stronger. Obviously, the confidence as well. And also, we've even had students who have had like quite serious back injuries and been on some pain medication for their back. And through pole, they've been able to strengthen their core and come off the medication. So, having a strong core, good posture can make such a difference.
So, I mean, that sounds like the perfect sort of workout for a lot of women out there because they want to tone. They definitely don't want to bulk up. And it keeps them not only healthy, but sounds like it's also really, really good for their body.
Yeah, and it's a fun, I'm personally very motivated by fun. So, you take the fun out of something and I'm not too keen to do it anymore. But I find with pole, it doesn't feel like a workout. You're focused on that next move. You're focused on that combo. You're focused on the routine, putting it together. It's only the next day when you saw that you realise, oh yeah, okay, it was a workout.
So it's not like, let's say, for some people having to drag yourself to the gym on a cold and windy day, and you sort of go, oh, I got to do it anyway. It's fun.
No, it is. It's absolutely fun. That's what hooked me in the beginning. I'm very motivated by fun personally, so that's
I think a lot of people are, because a lot of people, they say, I want to lose weight, and then how am I going to do that? I'm going to starve myself, and I'm going to the gym at 5 in the morning every day, and it's no fun, and you can start. And you can go for a little bit, but eventually you give up because it's not fun.
Yeah, and it's not sustainable as well. Like you're doing something like you're forcing yourself. All it takes is for you to get sick or for something to happen, and then you just drop off. Whereas if you do something that you love, you want to come back for your next class. You're counting down the days to your next session.
Well, that sounds fantastic. Can you give us somewhat of an idea? I imagine there's a routine, right? When you're doing pole dancing, you're doing a routine. How long does a routine normally go for?
So a routine would normally be a song. So, it can vary. Obviously, we'd have shorter songs for the lower levels. So kind of around 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. So 3 minutes, it doesn't sound like a long time, but when you're doing moves on the pole, you're not on the pole 100% of the time, but you're holding your body weight for a good portion of that time. So a routine will definitely get your heart rate up. There's your cardio as well. Definitely intense.
Let's just, I've got your manifesto in front of me here. And I just wanted to go through, there are 4 points here. Let's just talk briefly about each one. So our manifesto, this is what we believe, this is what we stand for. And the first one is women need to feel confident. And in brackets, confidence changes your world. We've talked a little bit about confidence. How does pole dancing, particularly the way that you do it, lead into people feeling confident? What sort of benefits could people expect?
Yeah, so I guess it's a journey that they go on. The first time that they walk through the door, they're obviously nervous, they're apprehensive, they're shy, they don't know anyone. And it's that journey that we take them through from really being at that point to really being confident, strutting their stuff. We've had so much feedback from ladies of things that they're able to do, just in life. Through pole and through the classes and the way that we teach as well. It's the confidence that it's given them that's then enabled them to do other things. It might be a job. We had one lady audition for a part in theatre. It can be relationships. It can be anything. Like confidence is just such a big thing that if you've got it, you can conquer the world. If you don't, you just feel terrible. Definitely.
So it really transitions from the studio out into every aspect of their life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, the second point, health and fitness is transformational, i.e. you step into a new way of doing things. Let's talk about that. So you step into a new way of doing things. What did you mean by that?
Well, I guess when you look after your health and fitness and you're respecting your body, you're eating certain certain foods or exercise or whatever, and you're doing it because you love your body, you respect your body, you appreciate your body for what it enables you to do. It's from that positive side as opposed to the negative, that the punishment side of I've got to go to the gym and do this because I ate terribly or I did whatever. It's just twisting it, to being more positive.
Yeah, it's sort of turning it on its head, so it's not about guilt and sort of hating yourself and hating your body. It's from the other way, the positive aspect.
Absolutely.
Now, the third point, self-worth is everything. It makes all the difference in all things. Absolutely. Now, that's a huge one. I don't care if it's male or female. Let's talk about self-worth a bit.
Yeah, so, self-worth, and this is definitely the journey that I've been on when I was in that bad relationship and just not feeling that I was worthy, and then, going on that journey. So it impacts everything in life. It impacts the decisions that we make, who we accept into our life, the boundaries that we set or don't set, how we treat ourselves. It just encompasses everything.
Got some really important points here in your manifesto. So let's go into the fourth one. We talked a lot about this one. A sense of community will transform how you see yourself in the world. What's the sort of community that you have? What's the feeling when people step into the studio, I guess?
Yeah, so it's a community of happiness, positivity, encouragement. When girls get new moves, there's cheers of applause, and there's no competition. It's just supporting and encouraging one another. And then on the flip side, that also then comes in when girls are going through hard times. We've had girls come into the studio and they've just found out that their boyfriends cheated on them or whatever, and they've felt that it is a safe place and that they can come in and just let it out, and they know that they'll be looked after and supported and built back up.
On that, because I know it's important to you guys that you're a women's only studio, and obviously I would expect that it's going to mainly be females anyway when it comes to pole dancing, but you've also noted here that on the off chance that a male does need to enter the studio for maintenance, etc., we also let our ladies know beforehand. Now, I assume that because you've put that up there, that it's very important to you and it's not a decision that you just made off the cuff. Can you tell us a little bit about why you've been so specific about that?
Yeah, good question. So with the original story about what I told you about why I started the studio, it's all about women. Nothing against guys, I think they're great, but this is about a community for women. And also we've got students of different religions, so that's why that's important that we put that on the website so that they feel secure and safe, and they know that it is a women-only community. So when they come in, they can be at ease with that.
So when, I imagine, because some of them would have had some very negative experiences potentially in relationships, whether it be an intimate relationship or a parent or a friend, that it's important they feel that they can feel secure and express who they are, and as you mentioned, express any problems they've been having in their outside life when they come into the studio.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so true.
What sort of contact details, if people want to get in touch or get started, obviously, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
So they can either call us on 80903442. Alternatively, they can email us at info@studioexclusive.com.au. They can also find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram. We'd love to have a chat to them, love to welcome them into the studio.
Fantastic. And I'll put all those contact details below, Peter. Just to recap, where would someone start? Would they come in and, because obviously you've got maybe some people who have never done exercise before and some people who are already pretty fit. Where would you normally suggest they start?
Yeah, so with our beginners classes, we presume that they've never touched a pole before, they're nervous, they're excited, so we would take them right from the beginning. Also, the way that we teach as well, we give everyone one-on-one time, so everyone's supported if there's moves that they're struggling with. Also, if someone was a little bit more advanced, we can give them harder versions. If there's moves that they're struggling with, we can give them easier versions as well. So most people would normally either start with a beginner's class or a private lesson. If they're really nervous, about coming into class, and they can come in, do a private lesson with us, see how they go, then they might just want to slot into one of the classes and then go from there.
So really everyone can proceed at their own pace and what they feel comfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we've got lots of levels, so we progress up through the levels, and we always encourage people just to take it at their own pace. So, some people will go one term, then next level, and the next term. But I always encourage people just take it at your own pace. Don't rush ahead. If you're up for the challenge and you want to go for it, go for it. But if you're not quite ready, I also feel that if you push ahead too fast, too soon, it can also take the fun out of it. Just take it at your own pace. And some people will, stay in levels longer. It's whatever's right for that individual person.
Sure. Just out of interest, how many levels are there?
We have got 6 at the moment.
Right.
So 6 levels, and then we've got other supplementary classes like lyrical pole fitness, stretch, flexibility, that sort of thing.
Right. Sounds fantastic. Okay. Let's wrap up. Here we go. It's nothing to do strictly with pole. Have some fun with it. So here we go. Number 1, what is your favorite word?
Awesome. I say it so much. Probably too much.
I think it suits your personality. Awesome. Number 2, what is your least favorite word?
Negative.
That's a really common one. Someone said no. Their least favorite word was literally no. Anyone telling you no, or negative people? Okay.
Yes.
What about what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or whatever?
I love to play and socialise and create as well.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
What about what turns you off?
Probably negativity.
This is a really common theme, yeah.
So if it's constructive, absolutely welcome it. But if it's not, it can be challenging at times.
Definitely. What about what sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of my Labrador Barney eating his biscuits. It's just a childhood sound.
What sort of noise is the sound of a Labrador chowing down on biscuits? It sounds like it'd be quite a sloppery.
They're dry biscuits. There's no slobbery. It's just chomping.
Someone did mention the sound of the dog in their sleep. So dogs seem to be coming up relatively recently.
Well, he snores, but I love that sound too.
He snores?
Yes, he does.
Okay. All right.
Never.
I feel like I'm learning something new today. What about what sound or noise do you hate?
Probably, and I'm sure this is a common one as well, fingernails on a blackboard.
Oh, yes. Although I've got to say it's been a while since I've actually heard that because we don't have blackboards anymore. All right, now here's one which some people can answer and some people can't. What is your favorite curse word?
Can we say that?
Yes, I can bleep it out.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't say it very often, but occasionally I let one out.
Out of everyone I've interviewed, there's only been, actually no, there are 2 people who have said anything else. Everyone else, it's been the F word. And it's... what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I was thinking the other day, anything that involves food, just working in a cake shop, working in a donut shop, working in a dumpling shop. I don't think that's a good idea. Chocolate shop, anything like that.
I'm seeing a common thread between the foods that you're picking. They're not known for being hugely healthy.
No, they're not. So I don't think it's a good idea, but...
Donut shop. I mean, I guess you could open one next to your studio, then the 2 sort of bounce off one another. What about what profession would you not like to do?
What would I not like to do? Probably be a parking ticket inspector. I think that would be pretty tough. Yeah.
Because everyone thinks you're the scum of the earth.
We just cost so much, and I think as happy and positive as you can be, it would just take its toll on you.
I'm not sure how long you could be happy and positive being a parking ticket inspector. I don't think anyone thinks you add value to their lives.
I know. I'd be paying their ticket. Probably wouldn't last very long.
No, I think you might be fired. Well, here's the last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Maybe, welcome, you are awesome.
There's your favorite word again.
It is. It is.
That's it. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And I think if there's anything that's clearly come through the interview, it's how much energy. I mean, you mentioned you have too much energy. but you certainly have a lot of energy, and you seem genuinely not just passionate about what you do, but you genuinely seem happy as well,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
separate to just being passionate, but actually really happy, which is nice to
Yeah.
see.
Absolutely. There's definitely, days that are struggles, but,
Yeah.
overall, I wouldn't change it for the world. It's definitely been a lot of hard work, but, I know that I'm doing what I love and it gives me energy. So, yeah, absolutely love it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Been
And
great chatting to you.
thanks everyone for watching, and we'll speak to you again soon.